All right, it's our second anniversary here in the Top 5 at 5, and we have something really special for you guys. Her songs are regularly on the countdown. We sing to all her songs.
Mm-hmm. And we talk about her all the time.
Yeah.
She's beautiful. She's talented. Ladies and
everything.
gentlemen, we have Taylor Swift. So we only have a few minutes with you, Taylor. Let's go straight to the point. You've just released your latest album, Speak Now. Can you tell us how different it is from your previous album, Fearless?
The album Speak Now is about the last 2 years of my life. There are a lot of things that everybody saw me go through that I've written about on this album, and on the other hand, there are a lot of things that nobody knew that I went through that I've written about on this album. So for me, the most exciting thing about the anticipation of bringing out this album is people are going to get to hear a lot of stories that they didn't know. You know, for me, this album is different from any of my other albums because I'm older. Writing Fearless, I was 17 and 18. And writing this record, I was 18, 19, and 20. So that's a completely different area of your life, a completely different chapter.
You know, we really loved your first single, Mine, here in the Philippines, and it's been part of our countdown, and our listeners really do support it. But, what's the story behind the song?
It's about having sort of this shaky idea about what love is, and not ever really fully trusting it. Because every time you've seen love in other situations, like around you, you've seen it fail. But this song is about finding the one person who's the exception to all of that fear, that one person who makes you realize that it's not a lost cause to fall in love.
Now, listening to your songs, though, it's like you say things in them that you weren't able to say, or, it's like you had somebody in mind when you were writing it. Is it really like that for you?
I think early on I realized that I could say how I felt in a song, and yes, it would take longer to get to the person, but it would be crafted exactly the way that I wanted to say it. So I think that's just kind of how my brain works now, where if there's something I really want to say and I'm really upset about it and I want to make that phone call, chances are I'm going to go get my guitar instead.
So have you ever had anyone ask you, hey, is that song about me?
There have been situations where the people I've written songs about have kind of hinted around that maybe it was about them. I'll tell them sometimes. There's a song on Fearless called Hey Steven, and the night that the album came out, I sent a text message to Steven and wrote, track 5, just to let him know that it was about him. And that was a fun scenario.
So from all the songs that you have written, which would you say is the closest to you, or the song that you're actually surprised that you wrote it?
The most personal song.
There's a song called 15 on Fearless that I am always going to be really proud of because it really chronicles what it was like for me to be a freshman in high school. And all the things I learned. Going to school is only a tiny fraction of the lessons that you learn when you're 15 years old. All of the trials and tribulations, and I met my best friend Abigail, and both of us met boys, and we both learned very different lessons at the end of that year. I was happy that I was able to say all of that in song.
We all love your music videos. They're super fun, and we all have our own favorites. What about you? Do you have a favorite music video that you've made?
When I look back on the video for You Belong With Me, I am really happy about it. That's one of the videos that I think back on and really smile because it turned out exactly the way that I saw it in my head when I wrote the song. So we had a blast shooting it. I was lucky enough to win a VMA for it. It was a really fun video to be a part of.
So speaking of other artists, who is Taylor Swift's dream collaboration?
I think if there was one artist that I would just freak out and just love to collaborate with, it would probably be U2. Bono is just such a huge hero of mine, so that, I wouldn't be able to talk, probably. It would just be ridiculous.
Taylor, you're a huge star now, and a lot of people really do look up to you, even us. And a lot of people would like to know, what keeps you sane?
Yeah, what keeps you in check?
Yeah.
I think that the best thing that I've learned over the past couple of years is that you can't let any of the busy schedule and the planning of your career and the strategizing ever affect the fact that you have to be a person first. And I mean that in the way that you should still do the things you used to do before you got into all this. I love going to the grocery store. I just don't want to ever stop doing that because you get a lot of really cool human interaction in the grocery store, and I never want to lose the ability to do things like that, because at that point then you need to reassess if what percentage of you is a person still.
You're 20 years old, but have you always known you could sing and write songs? I mean, how old were you when you started doing that stuff?
When I was 12 years old, I wrote my first song, and that was after I learned 3 chords on the guitar. So I had always had this love for poetry growing up. The idea that if you get the right amount of words, the right combination of words, and you put them together the right way, you can make words bounce off of a page like they have a rhythm. So I think growing up, my love for poetry really coincided with playing guitar, and I just started writing songs right away.
You know, not a lot of celebrities are like Taylor Swift, that they stay close and connect to their fans. What makes you go that extra mile, to have those meet and greets?
I have a blast meeting fans, and I do it a lot. There are so many meet and greets. There's at least one every single show, usually one before and one after the show. And I really love talking to them because some of them cry, some of them start screaming, and that's pretty cute. And then a lot of them tell me stories about how each song has affected them, and I never would have expected the impact that some of the songs had on people. It's just really a treat to get to know that sort of thing, and it's one of the things that makes me so thankful and grateful that I get to do this.
The magic to your songs, really, is that they are so relatable and they make you relatable.
It's really crazy to think that my personal stories that I just thought were things that only I went through, and I just happened to write a song about it, those songs go out into the world and they become whatever the person listening to it wants it to become. And that's such a beautiful thing about music. Stories that I thought were so personal that people probably would never relate to them go out there and actually end up relating to people, and that's something I'm so excited about.
So we have Taylor Swift on the show. Taylor, let's talk about your hometown. What do you miss the most?
When I leave Nashville and I go on tour, I think the thing I miss the most is my place, my apartment. I love it there. It just is cozy and comfortable and feels like home. So I miss that, first of all, but second of all, I miss the food. I love the food in Nashville. There are just all these great places to eat, and so when I get back, I go get pancakes at the Pancake Pantry, and I go and get dinner at all these different little places around where I live, and it's just it's a good town for food. Southern food is a really, really comforting thing. So whenever you come back and you need something that's a little Southern comfort, you can go and get some fried chicken, and it'll make you feel better.
Well, it seems like you're so busy, like you're always on the go. Do you ever get tired?
I think coffee is very important to make sure that you're not tired all the time. We make Starbucks runs when I'm starting to get run down, and so that's definitely one of my things that keeps my energy level up, so that, because one of my main goals and something that I've concentrated on from the very beginning is not ever being rude to people. Like, I've had, everybody's experienced what it's like when someone's rude to you, and the feeling that you walk away with is honestly never really wanting to be around them again. So it's always been like a big goal for me to never intentionally make somebody feel bad. Because, depending on whether I'm tired or not has nothing to do with the fact that, everybody's just trying to live their life and be happy, and, so coffee and trying to get sleep whenever I can.
Hey, we follow you on Twitter and on Facebook, and we do visit your blog, and we know that your songs reveal a lot about you personally, but what part of your life do you feel that you still have to yourself, or, is still private?
I feel like, although I do have a Twitter and I have Facebook and I have all these ways of communicating with people. I write songs about people in my life, and I include names and details. I feel comfortable letting people in on this big level where I guess some people would have privacy issues, but for me, my privacy comes when I'm like, I guess, sleeping. I don't think that for me I've ever really had this main line between what space is mine and what space is everybody else's, because I asked for a life where everything's kind of in front of people, and people come up to me in the elevator of my building and they're like, "Oh, hey, I heard you were there the other day," and it's like, I don't know how they found out where I was the other day, but I can choose to be creeped out by it, or I can just choose to realize that the way my life is gone, I'm lucky to have rumors spread about where I went grocery shopping. So it's like, I just have to kind of accept it all. And of course nobody really loves the paparazzi thing where there's cameras everywhere and you're kind of scared of taking the next step and maybe like tripping and looking like an idiot. Like, I don't want to do, nobody feels comfortable with that, but I don't try to be too fussy with privacy.
So congrats, by the way, on getting your own place.
Congratulations.
Awesome. We're older than you, and we wish we could get our own places. How does it feel to not be living with your parents? Please tell us.
Mm-hmm.
I love my home. I love my apartment. It just feels like a house that happens to be at the top of a building. I bought it a year before I moved in, and I just spent a year gutting it, turning it into this blank canvas, and then starting over. So it's really warm and comfortable and everything I always dreamed about when I was a little girl. I always dreamed about having a really colorful kitchen with different knobs on each cabinet and everything mismatched and eclectic and fantasy. And I get to live there now. It makes me really happy, and I have people over all the time, and it feels really nice to have a place that's mine.
So you're coming to the Philippines really soon, and we are very excited. What other places in Asia would you like to visit?
One of my favorite places in the world to go is Japan. I've had so much fun there, and just people have been really nice. The culture is gracious and kind, and I've had a blast there. Although there are a lot of other places that I really want to go. My mom grew up over in Southeast Asia. And she grew up in Thailand and Singapore, and she's always telling me these stories of how incredible it was growing up there, and I'm always jealous, and I want to go over there and play concerts and take a look around and really experience it.
Didn't know that. But again, we're all looking forward to your concert, talking about Taylor Swift. She's coming here in February. Is there anything that you would want to say to your fans?
Thank you so much for all your love and support. I love reading messages and emails from you, and I just really appreciate everything you've done. I can't wait to see you soon. It's on the schedule, and I'll be seeing you very soon. So I love you a lot, and thank you for everything.
All right. Thank you, Taylor, and we'll see you soon.